Justine Randall from Tatton versus Sean Osborne from Charles Stanley are going to be talking about the future of the investment proposition. We want to do a vote before and after to see both who wins and who persuades the audience. This is brutal for our presenters, and it needs to be. This is tough. It's like the gladiators in here, someone told me earlier. The house view is that model portfolio services represent the future of the investment proposition, and assets will persistently transition away from individually tailored discretionary management. Presenting the House view will be Justine Randall, and her opposing member is Sean Osborne, and these two have fantastic chemistry. It's going to be great fun. The loser will again win the dinosaur tale. The stakes are high. They're really high. So I think we can call it there, 71%. Justine Randall.
I'd like to open by saying that after agreeing to take part today, I asked Heather for some do's and don'ts. I'm new to this, you see. And she said, well, Justine, pretty much anything goes. But here's two things to bear in mind. Don't swear. And if you can, try to be funny. Well, anyone who knows me will be very, very conscious that, firstly, I swear like a bloody trooper. You can blame my RAF parents for that. And secondly, it is highly unlikely that I will be starting a new career as a stand-up comedian anytime soon. So that's the event etiquette covered. Now, the most important bit. I'm a girl, and what should a girl wear on a day like today? Is it going to be a power suit, a flowery dress, heels to impress, or flats for comfort? So much to think about. Not generally too difficult a decision, except that is when you're trying to imagine which outfit will look best when paired with a dinosaur tail. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my nerve-settling introduction done. And that leaves me just 8 minutes to persuade you all to share in my passion and belief that model portfolios really are the future for investments. So I'm going to start by thanking my learned colleague Sean for taking part alongside me in the debate today, and in recognising that whilst we may not both agree that MPS is the future, I hope we can agree that our landscape is fortunate to be supported by so many incredible planners who do such a great job in helping clients realise their dreams. And we also agree, I hope, that innovation and passion to improve and being change agents are key to continue to do our bit to shape the future. So I address the House with the utmost of confidence in stating that I do believe that MPS represents the future of the investment proposition, and I'm going to explain that to you now why. As someone who accidentally fell into a career in financial services, well, didn't we all? My U-turn was particularly spectacular. I dropped out of a medical degree after just 18 months, much to my parents' horror. And in April '96, I found my way into a role at Allied Dunbar. It didn't really get any better, did it? My background is a mixed bag of distribution, advising, product design, and even annuities, if we're old enough to remember those. And one thing I know for certain is that in my 25 years of history, I've learned to love our industry. I'm deeply privileged. I've made a good living out of spending time with planners, learning to celebrate what you do, understanding what you do, and hopefully doing my bit to deliver some of those great client outcomes. Now, speaking of client outcomes, that term seems to be here to stay, and this is key to why I believe MPS will continue to thrive. As we'd heard from Heather this morning, each of us has a role to play as change agents, and that leads nicely into the champion for change that is MPS. Model portfolios are a force of nature, growing over the past decade from a tiny market with only a handful of providers to a booming and vibrant landscape today, entrusted with over 100 billion of your clients' money across over 100 providers. Well, it's been quite a journey, and it's wonderful to hear that the team at NextWealth agree with me that the future for MPS is bright. And their research, conducted with IFAs, recently found that the MPS sector will continue to grow, and it will grow at a faster pace than the other sectors in the investment landscape. So why is this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 key factors driving the growth in demand for MPS today. Firstly, we know this only too well, price pressure on the value chain. Whether you're the IFA, whether you're the platform, or whether you're the investment manager. MPS solutions demonstrate clear monetary savings when compared to more traditional bespoke offerings. And secondly, that increasing regulatory burden that we've heard so much of today. We can all agree that some of the FCA gifts that keep on giving are really causing us more and more pain, creating a rising bar for safe operation and driving every one of you as advisors towards outsourced solutions as things get harder. And finally, ease of trade. MPS, unlike bespoke, can be accessed across platform. Your choice of platforms, and we spend all our time onboarding our models to every platform that you ask for, trying to do our bit to support your business model. And an extension of this point is that word independence. MPS, unlike bespoke, allows you as the advisor the ability to separate platform and custody from the investment management, thus demonstrating independence of choice in each and every part of your investment proposition and how you construct that year on year. Now, having understood the market dynamics behind the growth of MPS overall, let's address that tricky question that Heather asked of us in this debate. So why is and why will model portfolios be the future of the investment proposition? And more to the point, why will assets persistently move away from individually tailored offerings? Well, quite simply, MPS achieves the same goals as individually tailored, but at a lower cost, and in a way that better supports each and every one of your business models. We can indeed evidence that MPS is the future. 4 very simple ways to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, bringing down the cost of investing and delivering competitive investment performance at a lower cost than individually tailored offerings. Secondly, a breadth and depth of offering that's transparent, easy to explain to clients. That's super important. Active, passive, hybrid, income, and ethical. You name it, MPS has got it. And the range of solutions is continuing to evolve based on your feedback. We are an externally faced business rather than being internally faced. And we proudly face outwards, listening to each and every one of you, constantly evolving based on your feedback. And that leads me to our third reason, reduced risk and complexity. It's a hard world being an advisor in today's landscape. And outsourcing to MPS means clear separation of responsibilities. Allows you to focus on your client needs, leaving us to focus on the investment management. And this client-centric approach allows you time to spend with clients, having the utmost confidence that we will focus on those investment returns at the right price. My final point is advisor service, something very dear to every one of us here in the room. And I really believe that MPS supports the advisor business model through platform-based investment management. It means ease of reporting to clients, a choice of offering from white labeling, co-branding, whatever you want. Our options will shine a light on your brand alongside our brand, a true partnership approach. And our fresh, accessible investment expertise is available 24/7. And it's paired with advisor-led technology, quarterly reports, and even client-specific commentary. Who'd have thought it? So it's this combination of performance, price, and service that means that our team is an extension of your team, here to celebrate you and not to compete with you. They are your clients. MPS providers, we're innovative, we're progressive, we're bold, but we're respectful of our entire landscape. And that's every single advice business here in the room with us today. You, ladies and gentlemen, are our whole universe. And our promise is to keep adapting, listening, and supporting you. So thank you so much for listening to me today. And in the past 8 minutes, we have considered a lot. I hope we can conclude together that MPS is indeed the future and will continue to thrive. And quite simply, designed by advisors for advisors, it is indeed the modern way. Now that's it from me. The force of nature that is MPS, and I consider myself the queen of MPS, will continue to thrive as awareness increases. I am so proud of the growth we've achieved with your incredible support, and I am excited to see this quiet revolution continue. I will finish every one of you to come and join the MPS party. You never know, you might just like it. Thank you very much. Good luck, my friend.
Right, Sean Osborne on the opposing side.
I'm going to grab some water if that's okay, because listening to that, I've got some work to do. So Heather called me up and asked me to offer the opposing view for this, or the hospital pass, as it was described to me during the coffee break, which is fantastic. And listening to Justine then, it's certainly going to be tough. But before I get into the key arguments of bespoke discretionary management, and my prompter doesn't give up on me, I think I should make a bit of a confession. You see, I am very lucky that within my suite of solutions at Charles Stanley, I've got a selection of funds, single strat, multi-asset. I've got a truly bespoke discretionary management offering, and I've got an MPS solution. And I've got something in between, and we might touch on that later as times go. But I guess in summary, what I'm trying to say is, I'm really agnostic about this. Which way it goes? Let's see. And because I'm agnostic, I'm here to argue the merits of truly bespoke. But it'd be remiss of me not to recognise, as Justine spoke about so clearly, that MPS has no doubt been a force for good for our advice business. And it will have helped many clients achieve their desired investment outcomes. Now, I believe one of the key reasons model portfolios have been so successful is no doubt their cost. There's a very good report out recently, MPS comparison report via NextWealth, available in all good bookshops, that tells us the average MPS management fee is now down to just 19 bips. But the question I'm really here to ask is, what do you have to sacrifice for lower cost? What are the true costs of selecting an MPS? And why do I believe, whilst MPS still has its merits, it's not going to take all of the money currently managed via bespoke solutions? So we're all really familiar with the price and value outcome of Consumer Duty. And I think price and value are key to this whole conversation and this debate we're having today. Our role is to ensure that the products we offer provide fair value to customers. And to do that, we need to understand what our customers really value. Now, I've been in the very fortunate position to work closely on an independent piece of research just in the last couple of months, which in part looked at the specific subject of what clients valued. And when clients were asked what they valued from their relationships with advisors, peace of mind was number one. Access to someone human came second. And I think that links back to Ruth's sort of point in the CEO debate that we're really not quite there yet with AI and robo-advice. There's some work to do. We're on a journey. Now, value for money, of course, was in the report of something that clients valued. But it was sixth. They make me money was 12th. Now, I'm not saying for a moment that offering value for money is not important. And of course, making money for our clients is important if it's their objective. But we've got to understand that some of our clients have enough. A number of clients simply want us to preserve those assets and help them with structuring their affairs for things like intergenerational planning. The goal for these clients is really simple. Don't take unnecessary risk and don't lose the inheritance. But what the research told us is that clients see value in something that's often not as tangible as a BIP. It's often highly personalized to them. And this shouldn't surprise us because we're all individuals and we all value different things. So I don't believe that a one-size-fits-all model portfolio service suits every client just because on the face of it, it might appear cheaper. Cheap is very unlikely to be the only thing that our clients value. So let's dig into this a bit more. Advisors tell me they outsource to Charles Stanley and other wealth managers, not quite as good as us, for a few reasons. I've got to have some fun, haven't I, because you put me on this, yeah? So one of those key reasons, of course, is to drive efficiency through the business, yeah? It's to help free up that time about those good things we've been talking about all morning, concentrating on spending the time with clients, concentrating on advice, financial plans, intergenerational discussions, spending more time with the clients to help truly understand what the clients value, their goals, their needs, their hopes, and their objectives. I also know many advisors who've been managing their own portfolios and make the decision to outsource expect wealth managers like Charles Stanley, with our teams of researchers and portfolio managers and analysts, to do a better job than they do themselves. I mean, hey, what are you paying me for? We're the specialists, right? We've got one job. Our job's to maximize the return for your clients efficiently inside the given risk budget. And we know that regulatory changes like Consumer Duty are prompting a further wave of outsourcing. Now, I can hear you say this, like, Sean, look, this is great. Yeah, we know all this. Justine covered some of it. It can be done, multi-asset fund or MPS. However, if you've chosen to outsource your clients as they value that investment specialism, they want the greatest opportunity of maximizing those returns within the chosen risk budget. You're seeking the most granular iteration of my investment theses, you have to do it via bespoke discretionary solutions. The reasons are quite simple. Platform-based MPS often cannot access the securities, instruments, and investment vehicles that I can hold within my own custodian. Not all platforms can access direct equities. Investment trusts are often a challenge. And let's not even get started on those additional charges for trading ETFs that eat away at that very precious BIP that we're trying to drive down. Now, I'm not saying it's the fault of the MPS provider, but if your client values the purest investment outcome, utilizing a bespoke discretionary management solution is the way forward. It meets the needs of a number of clients. If your clients value access to their own investment manager, that direct access to someone human that we spoke about was valued earlier, often locally based, who they can meet with yourselves as their planner. And we know that from speaking with our clients, local service and that feeling of someone concentrating on just that investment element is particularly valued in times of high volatility, where the markets are not smooth sailing. The times when the market falls and clients are looking for someone to provide them with that peace of mind, that access to the investment specialist who can speak about their own segregated personal portfolio in detail. You are only going to get this via a bespoke discretionary service. It meets the needs of a number of clients. Similarly, if your clients value control, if as a planner you don't want your hard work with the client on structuring their investments and tax planning to be undermined by an automatic rebalance that creates a CGT event, a rebalance that pushes a client to a position of needing to undertake self-assessment. That bespoke offering, again, works perfectly with you as a planner in control of this. It meets the needs of a number of clients. If your clients value that personalization, where you've got specific sustainability or responsible investment preferences, things like individual investment inclusions or exclusions around stocks and investment themes, those individual preferences cannot be captured in any other way other than working with an investment manager to integrate them into that client's portfolio. That level of granularity is only achieved through bespoke solutions. And that bespoke solution, again, meets the needs of a number of clients. The same is true of clients who have existing cherished holdings that they want incorporated into the portfolios. And finally, that level of personalization is so important when your clients enter the decumulation phase. You look worried, but don't be, because you'll be pleased to know I'm not here to debate decumulation strategies and which one is right. I'm not going to talk about whether it should be 2 years held in cash, income should be taken from certain securities, the bucket scenario, or equally across your portfolios. The point is, how you would like your income produced and distributed is another key reason clients tell us they value that truly bespoke solution. Income that can be taken from specific assets, or across the entire portfolio, or in a number of different ways depending on where we are in the investment cycle. A bespoke solution will be able to accommodate your client's requirements and work in tandem with your advice. It meets the needs of a number of clients. So to finish, whilst I do believe MPS has a space in the market, and I do believe it will continue to grow as more advisors outsource their own advisory models, either in part or as a wider wholesale strategic partnership, I do not believe the growth of MPS will be fueled in the main from assets that are transferring away from truly bespoke solutions. I believe clients who value flexibility, personalization of service, access to the purest investment themes, and income tailoring will continue to have those needs met via a truly bespoke discretionary service. Thank you.
Right. With a 5-minute rebuttal from Justine, and then we'll get our close from Sean, returning to a vote. Justine.
Don't worry, I won't need 5 minutes. I'll try and do it in less than that. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for making a compelling case. And I agree, to be agnostic is definitely a safe place. But you know what? It's a case for the status quo, not for something better. And today, this House contends that IFAs and clients do deserve better, better than internally faced, old-fashioned and expensive offerings, better than complexity, a lack of transparency and smoke and mirrors, better than how it always was. Because now we have choice, and whilst change isn't easy, indeed, it is often painful and disruptive. You have MPS providers here to hold your hand and to support you with that change. So let's take a moment to absorb the wise words of Albert Einstein for a moment, as he finds that the measure of intelligence is indeed the ability to change. And a collective of trailblazers, well, we're uniting to challenge the old guard, and we've been quietly building our case by delivering robust and repeatable investment returns, including access to investment managers. Sorry, Sean, we do that too. Driving down the cost of investing by making MPS accessible on platforms that you choose and integrating our solutions with your tech stack. We take huge pride in offering our service at 15 basis points, not 19, but 15 basis points, whichever style of service you choose. Be this co-branded, white-labeled, or off-the-shelf, we give you the choice. The service has been designed with the advisor at the heart, rather than the asset manager's commercial needs at the heart. We are very passionate about ensuring complete transparency of price and service. And we deliver this commitment to you and your clients, making sure that you play the primary role in that relationship. They are your clients. We're supporting advisors in demonstrating independence. We help you decouple platform from investments, and we are backing our advisors and building investments to deliver not just now, but in the future for you and for your clients. We are extremely confident in the House view that MPS is the future, recognising the importance of facing outwards and not inwards, and dedicating our business to shining a light on the good in your business. We will complement and we won't compete. And with that in mind, I'll spend a last moment or two to think about what the future may look like for the investment proposition. So what do we know already? Well, we know that regulatory burden isn't going to go away. We know that the pain is real, that the value chain price pressure is here to stay, and that platform costs are falling, but your advice fees unfairly still remain under pressure. So it's time for investment managers to do our bit to help. And I address the audience, and I urge each and every one of you to join us in delivering the best outcomes for clients, but also IFAs alike. Now, a danger lies in a reticence to evolve, and my mantra has always been not to be afraid of change, but to learn to embrace it. And you know what? It will reward you in spades. Now, I'm going to finish with 2 quotes from the wise. I couldn't choose between them, so I hope you will bear with me indulging in both. Firstly, insights from Socrates. Now, Socrates says that the secret of change is not to focus your energy not on fighting the old, but instead on building the new. Now, I mentioned earlier that I had RAF parents. My dad was a doctor. And it's true that I was brought up to push myself, to do my best, to enjoy my work, and it isn't a chore. So thank you all for making my job a pleasure. I do feel genuinely lucky. And my closing quote is from John D. Rockefeller, who has the final word on why MPS is the future. And he says to each and every one of us, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. So thank you all for listening, and I look forward to your call.
course, the great thing about these debates is you never know what the other person's going to say. So I've got about 6 or 7 different rebuttals, depending on how far the gloves were going to come off. I've also got the pleasure of having the last word. So let's give this a go and see where we get to. It's really interesting that Justin mentions the evolution. And I think she's absolutely right. We will continue to see an evolution of the products. That doesn't mean, for all of the reasons I've mentioned earlier, that I believe bespoke discretionary management is finished and it's not suitable for a number of clients. As I mentioned, I also have an MPS. And I said I'd mention we've got something in between, which we've developed. And if you'll allow me 30 seconds on it, I'd be very much appreciated. Because what we've noticed in Charles Stanley, and part of the development you'll no doubt see from other wealth managers, is there are elements that clients really do value, and there's a few elements that they don't. And what we've done is designed a product that sits between MPS and truly bespoke on our own custody, so you get the access to that granularity of investment theme. You get access to the investment manager, but in a hybrid environment, not the fancy lunch. Sorry, Natalie, you're going to have to give that up. Apologies about that, but we'll do Deliveroo or something for you. You get access to that most granular iteration of that investment theme you're paying me for. You get tailoring of income alongside that, and you get it at a price point that's 30% cheaper than the standard bespoke in the marketplace. And we believe that's the future. The future is going to be the evolution of the marketplace, a cross between MPS and a cross between bespoke for those clients that sit neatly in that section, that do want to access that investment granularity because they can't do it via their own platform. It's also a bit of a hidden secret that when you run MPS on so many platforms as some DFMs do, it's very hard to get your most granular iteration of even your MPS. Because your most preferred fund, your preferred fund in a certain element or a certain sector, may not be available on every platform. Some platforms onboard funds very quickly, some are slightly slower, some have access to them, some don't. Take, for example, the mega power that you're running 20, 30, 40 billion, so you get some great institutional rates, and yet you can't apply them to your MPS because the platform that's been selected doesn't allow ring fencing of funds. So it's counterintuitive to use an MPS when I can't provide you with the benefits and values that I could on every platform, simply because I have to give you a more expensive share class. That's a very difficult place to pick up from. And I think it's very, very easy for us to get caught up in one size fits all. But there was a recent survey undertaken by IFA magazine. I'd just like to read something to you that was answered regarding whether there is a future for bespoke versus MPS. And the person quoted this: "We have always believed that MPS can be helpful for clients achieving long-term goals such as saving for retirement or specific purposes of university fees for children. However, we do recognize that not every client is the same, and they may need such as help with tax management, specific income requirements, or they may want to access different asset types like thematic investing, structured products. We've seen clients graduating to a bespoke service where their needs required a more tailored solution. But we also observe that some clients may split their portfolios, leaving some in MPS and other amounts, such as monies received from the sale of a business or a property where a client may want to consider a different strategy utilizing a bespoke portfolio. Additionally, we see clients, such as trusts and charitable investments, jumping straight into the bespoke services as needed by their investment policy statements." Justin Randall, Sales Director, Tatton, IFA Magazine, 2022-2023 report. In summary, as Justine said, bespoke meets the needs of a number of clients. Thank you.
There it is. Oh my goodness. A massive, massive thank you to both of them. Before you thank them though, can you get in your votes so I don't have to fill time with the weather forecast? Right, high stakes. We have a winner and we have a dinosaur tail. what's it going to be? Get in your votes. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you both. It's not often that I laugh out loud talking about the future of the investment proposition, but I think most of us did today. Can we get up the results on the screen? It was 71% with the house view. Sean had quite a hill to climb. 41%.
There you go,
Sean is the winner. Sean is the winner. Well done.
I don't know where the bloody dinosaur came.
Great. Thank you very much. See you after lunch.
Lucky me.